Alright, good morning everyone. I'm Rajiv and I have, as usual, CeeVee sir with me. Good morning, sir.
Hi guys.
I'm happy to be here with CeeVee sir again for another boot camp event in Mandya, Karnataka, and we are on our way to the boot camp training event. And as usual, when we have conversations about a lot of stuff, we thought of discussing about the term or the department or the world of human resources. So, sir, as we were discussing, the context that I have in my mind is the evolution of human resources. Even the term, how it originated, that in the ancient times, there were some parts of the world had slavery, some parts did not have slavery. So slaves was one word. Then we had another word, labor, that came into the business world, that labor can be utilized to get some work done with the dignity of the labor maintained. And then we had another new word that came into effect, which is called as manpower. And after about a decade or so, I think we have this term called as human resources that originated. And in today's modern world, we have this new term, which is talent. Talent acquisition, talent development, which earlier used to be human resource development, now it is talent development. So, wanted to hear your thoughts about what is missing in this whole evolution of human resources and talent development.
See, Rajiv, my understanding of the way, I'm not saying as I'm making a blanket statement, but I can tell you one thing, that human resources as such, people use it more like, kind of a buzzword, and they say, human resource department and blah, blah, blah. But then I think that where human resource departments are doing their job and doing it well, and because of which organizations are what they are, because you've got so many organizations in the world, institutions in this world, which have human resource departments. But if you ask me what is missing in human resources today, is the human itself is missing from the human resources. It's like we are handling human beings literally using software, using possibly artificial intelligence, and not realizing that we cannot have artificial intelligence tell us or teach us empathy. I don't think till today any artificial intelligence human resource software has been able to ape what we call as empathy. And empathy is, I think, the most important thing in human resources, be it in the armed forces, be it in civil life, any other public life. The human resource, when we say, we most often don't realize that we are trying to develop is the human being itself. It's not just some department which is there just to make sure that people get their salaries on time or they get their bonuses and blah, blah, blah. Biggest problem is, or rather I would not say the problem, wherever I have seen good human resource managers and leaders, they are people who have the gumption, they have the audacity to tell their seniors exactly from a human empathy point of view what they think about an employee. Say for example, someone is working for me. If he is underperforming, I have to, if I am a good human resource manager, I should be able to find out as to what is troubling him. It's very easy to find fault and say, oh, you're not just performing, you don't do things on time and blah, 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 or they don't give him a raise. But every human has some problem or the other. Now, what is that problem? It's interesting for a HR manager or a leader to find out what is it that is troubling this person. How do we make things better for him? Can we be of any help to him? But most often what happens is you just want to find a fault. You just want to give him a pink slip and tell him thank you very much. It was nice knowing you. But I, for one, I'm talking from a military standpoint and another 22 years in the civilian field. I always realize that if you know how to tweak human resources well, you can get the best out of anybody.
True.
Like for example, when people come for my 90-day program, they are students who some of them have double degrees, some of them are quite matured, they are all in their early 40s or late 30s, and some even in their late 50s. And some of these people may or may not have done certain jobs which they never had an opportunity for that matter, or they thought those jobs were demeaning to do.
Yeah.
So from my angle, like if I tell my students who come to me, if you want to be a good farmer, I try to bring out the best of all their qualities.
Yeah.
So you cannot put a same template on everybody in human resource. Today what's happening is it's so more artificial.
Yeah.
It's like this is the template and everyone's got to fit into that template.
Yeah.
Every human is different. Every human has talent.
Absolutely.
And if you have a person working in your company, you must find out what is this man good at.
Yeah.
And take the best out of him. You know, the biggest problem in human resource, number one, empathy is missing. There's no feelings at all. It's very a very artificial way of doing things.
Yeah.
And human resources departments are mostly good at fault finding.
Yeah.
You don't need a human resource person to find your fault. You don't need education to find somebody's fault. You should be finding the good in everybody and validate people for whatever little things they do.
Yeah.
Even it's not necessarily that it has to be something that they've done. It could be that your manager or your employee is so smartly dressed, and he comes to the office and you say, hey, that shirt looks beautiful on you. You look so smart with that. You already done something as far as human resources is concerned. You already validated him. Nobody ever told him that he looks smart. And you tell him, hi guys, you guys are pretty good at this, good at that, good at that. You find people's good.
Yeah.
But most of the time I find human resource people are always trying to find faults in people.
Yeah.
The day they get that empathy and they find good in people, any organization must improve.
Absolutely.
I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah.
Like when I was in the Navy, we had a executive officer on my submarine.
Okay.
And it's not always that we give punishments officially on paper. Sometimes we had to give unofficial punishments where it's not recorded, just to correct people. So this executive officer, I won't name him, he had this very beautiful, excellent knack of understanding what each of our sailors are good at.
Okay.
So for example, if a sailor had to be punished, we used to tell him, stay back. You don't allow him to go ashore. You stop his liberty. And you tell him stay back for 3 hours after working hours. Now, staying back, doing nothing is of no use. So the executive officer, what he would do, he would pick up, he knew this sailor is good at painting the deck. This sailor is good at this work. So he would give punishment, no doubt, it is called a punishment, but he would find a job for that person to do, which he does very well. And after the punishment, he would make sure that he would tell that guy, you've done a great job.
Yeah.
He never felt that he was punished because he loved what he does best.
Right.
And you found that thing and you gave him that job to do. Some people are good at polishing the deck, some people are good at something else. He had that knack of finding out who's good at what, and he never made it. He was actually punishing that guy by keeping him 2 or 3 hours extra on board when he would love to go outside and meet his friends or socialize with his friends. But he never made them feel that it was a punishment because he gave them jobs that they're best at, and it not only made him the person punishing also felt good that he corrected somebody, number one. The guy who got punished never felt it was a punishment because he was given a job that he loves to do. And thirdly, the submarine benefited because there was a job to be done, and like scraping the deck and repainting it, that also got done in the process. That is how good organizations are run, Rajiv.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So today, human resource, it's all about payroll, it's about promotion, it's about, annual confidential report, review. Hello, good morning. You're doing it so artificially. It's like, say for example, there's a deputy manager. The deputy manager's report or review is written by the manager senior to him. Now that manager sends it to the CEO or whoever for further review and action. Many times it happens that the senior guy who has made the review for the junior guy, he is very scared to bring out the good of somebody.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that the CEO may ask, how can you give him a 8 rating out of 10?
Yeah.
Now you're the manager, this guy works under you. You know him better than the CEO.
Right.
But there are cases where people don't want to say the good about people.
Yeah.
You know, you find good in people and they will give you their best.
Yeah.
Even a man with other weaknesses will lose all those weaknesses, and when you tell him about his strength. If we are able to have empathy, we are able to find good in people who we employ and work like together, not as us and them or me and you. This whole scenario, as far as human resource is concerned, can change.
Absolutely.
I would take a leaf out of my someone I really admire, like Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
Simon Sinek talks mostly on so many factors about human resources, teamwork and stuff, and most of it is borrowed from the US military or the armed forces, because that is where objectives are there, and that's life and death situations.
Yeah.
So in those situations, soldiers do for each other, even they may not know whom they're doing it for.
Right.
Like an aircraft that's giving cover to ground forces, he's doing his job. He knows that his armed forces of his country is below, but he doesn't know every individual whom he is giving ground cover.
Yeah.
But when you ask that guy, that Air Force guy who is flying that aircraft, why did you do a second pass when you were asked not to do that second pass? You were told that you have done your job, now come back to base.
Yeah.
But you went for a second run when it was so dangerous. Why did you do it?
Yep.
So there's in one of Simon Sinek's talk, he says that pilot said, I did it for them because they would do it for me.
Yeah.
So that kind of teamwork, taking everybody along. You know, many times what happens in most organizations, it's not just about the HR department, it's also about people.
Absolutely.
What
Always.
people do, Rajiv, they don't work as a team. They work like, I should be noticed. I should be noticed by my seniors. But if somebody is weak, they think very good. It's good that he's weak because I become stronger. It's not because this guy is stronger. You don't become strong because someone else is weak.
Right.
You strengthen yourself.
Absolutely.
So there are so many things in human resources, and one of the things I have noticed is the very human itself in human resources is missing.
Yeah.
It's I would call it inhuman resources. Inhuman resource department.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So we got a long way to go. I mean, and there are, all great institutions which are running in this world, great organizations.
Yeah.
And be it General Electric or be it any of these Coca-Cola or whoever.
Yeah.
Why are they maintained their positions from several decades?
Yeah.
It's because they definitely have a very good human resource department.
Absolutely.
See, Rajiv, I might be a damn good engineer. What's the use? I'm a great engineer. I'm very well qualified. I know my job very well. But you haven't understood that I'm having a personal problem where I'm possibly going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And you don't know about it, but then you also want to find faults in me and say that you're not doing good, you're not doing that. Have you ever tried to ask me what's actually bugging me?
Core problem.
What is my core problem?
Yeah.
Nobody asks. Nobody wants to know because they think it's too much to know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very true, sir.
So, what I'm saying, Rajiv, end of the day, humanity. It just boils down to one basic thing.
Yeah.
All this human resource, all this brouhaha about it, all this natakbaji, and all this big talk about human resources will only begin when you have basic humanity, and humanity means empathy. So that's what I would like to say about or answer to your question, Rajiv.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope it makes sense.
Oh, it makes 100% sense. I mean, I like the way you started. You said you're not going to make a blanket statement because in my experience, I've also worked with some good companies, good organizations where there are processes, policies, bells and whistles in place to manage a lot of situations. But still, I feel that there is a lot of toxic culture out there and there's a fear psychosis culture out there. where employees are going through and they are not able to perform to their best potential. So I thought I could get some insights from you and what your thoughts are about this. So I'm very happy that I got the missing factor in the human resources, that is the human itself. And yeah, with humanity, with humility, I think empathy and little bit of kindness with some candor will definitely work.
Yes.
So thank you so much for giving me this lovely talk.
Thanks, Rajiv. And it's been a long time we made a little video.
Oh yeah.
And I hope it serves humanity.
Yes, and I hope this video resonates with a lot of people, especially who are in the human resources department or talent development department of any organization. Or if you want to start a new company, please think about these insights that have been mentioned in the video by CeeVee sir. And I'm very happy to be with him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.